Today I'm going to show you how to do backup and restoration in AKS using Velero. So before going to session, so what is Velero? So Velero is an open source tool. It helps backup and restore entire Kubernetes resources. Like you can take backup of entire Kubernetes cluster and you can restore whenever you need. So I have set all the steps in my GitHub repository and I have shared the GitHub repository link in my description. You can go through if you want more detail. It supports few cloud providers and it supports on-premises too. So you can take a backup of entire cluster like Azure AKS, AWS EKS and Google and even on-prem. So you can use a Velero. Velero contains two parts. So one is Velero client and Velero server. So Velero server in the sense you have to install Velero server in the Kubernetes cluster and you have to install Velero client locally. So where you are executing the kubectl commands. So here I am using a AKS. Okay. So before going to the chapter, so few things will get clarified here. So the first one, backup workflow. So how Velero works. So whenever you do Velero command like Velero backup or Velero restore, so what will happen in the backend? So Velero client make a calls to Kubernetes API server. It creates a backup object. So once backup object created, then backup control takes a responsibility to proceed further, like it initiate the backup process. So once the backup process completed, then it sends the data to again the API server, Kubernetes API server. So Kubernetes API server, it's heart of the Kubernetes, like it handles all the responses. So once whenever you send some request to Kubernetes, so Kubernetes APIs collect the data and send the data to respective resources and again get the data from that resource and send back to you. So this is the thing happen in Kubernetes. And when it comes to snapshot, like persistent volume, so Velero give an option to take a snapshot whenever you do a backup. Snapshot also happen. Yeah, and another feature, the TTL, so time till loop. So once you take a backup, so you don't know how long the backup will exist under the storage location. If you are in Azure, then we use storage container like a blob container. All the backup files will upload to that blob container. So default expiration for like 30 days. You can change, you can modify the TTL in the runtime. So using -TTL flag. When it comes to installation, Velero client installation, if you are using Mac, then you can use Brew. Brew install Velero, it's fine. If you are in Ubuntu or Fedora, then you can use a tarball tar command. And if you are on Windows, then you can use Choco. And when it comes to limitation, the first one, it doesn't support cross-platform. So cross-platform in the sense, if you are in Azure, if you take a snapshot, I mean, if you take a backup in Azure, you can't restore in another cluster like AWS or Google Cloud. So that is the one limitation. And another one, the volume snapshot. So when it comes to volume snapshot, the persistent volume, so you can take a backup of persistent volume or snapshot in one region. You can't restore the same in another region. So it is a region respective. So far, I think they are working on that. So we'll get a good update soon. And one more feature of backup hook feature. So what is that? So you can specify more than one commands in a container, like for let's say you want to execute a freeze or some other command before going to take a backup. So you can use this backup hook feature and execute the commands, like you have to add those commands in the pod file. And what happened whenever you do Velero backup, so those commands executed before initiating the backup process. And if you want to get a more detail, you can go through the reference link here. Okay, so at the time of recording I am using Velero 1.5 version. Okay, so let's move to setup AKS. to set up AKS, so we need one Azure account with proper access. So for testing purpose, I Azure free tier account, and I use below things are required to test Velero in Azure AKS. So first one, Azure account, that is already I have, and the second one, AKS cluster, we have to set up AKS cluster, and third one we have to set up storage account. So all the things like a setup, we can set up a AKS cluster either through UE or CLI. Yeah, here we can use Azure CLI. So for that, first I have to install Azure CLI. I have to use a brew install. So if you are in Windows, you can use a PowerShell. You can directly install Azure CLI. So once Azure CLI installed, then we have to execute Azure CLI command. So for that, you have to log in. So that is the purpose of AZ login. So it's already installed on my machine. So here you have to select the account. Login successfully. So next step, you have to select the default subscription if you have more than one. So how to display like whether I get a more than one or single subscription. So when I use this command, it will display all the subscription in your account. So here I have single subscription. So this is the default one. So I don't have to set the subscription by default. If you have more than one subscription, you have to set the which one you are going to use at default. So next step, I have to create resource group. So before going to set up AKS cluster in when in Azure side, all the resources under one resource group. So we have to create one resource group. So here I use a region East US. If you want to modify, you can do whatever you want. And I'm going to create resource group. So we can verify the same in the UI. It will take some time. So and then we're going to set up a AKS cluster. So before going to set up AKS cluster, we have to get the list of available Kubernetes version in your region, so that we can define which version you want to install. So it will display all the Kubernetes version so available in your region. So you can choose any one of Kubernetes version here. So I put it a name like AKS cluster 1 for my cluster. So here I choose Kubernetes version 1.18. So it will take 3 to 5 minutes. So you have to wait. So we can verify the resource group meanwhile. The resource group is created. Now it is empty. So once cluster is created, then we have to verify whether the cluster is exist available in a case. The next thing, we have to configure kubeconfig. So what is the kubeconfig? So kubeconfig file is generally like if you want to execute kubectl command locally, you need a kubeconfig file. So wherever you are AWS or Azure or Google Cloud, you need to copy that kubeconfig file to locally so that you can execute kubectl commands. So this is a command. So get the kubeconfig files and copy it locally. Then we can verify kubectl command. The next one, so once a AKS cluster ready, then we have to create a storage account and blob container. Then we'll do Velero server installation as well as client installation. Then we'll start some few deployments, Nginx deployment without persistent volume and with persistent volume. Then we'll restore a backup, take a backup and restore. So AKS cluster is created. So now the steps are how to verify the AKS cluster. Provision state is succeeded. So we can verify in the UA as well. So resource groups created for the Kubernetes. Okay. The next step, so we have to copy the kubeconfig file to locally. So here I choose our node count 1. So if you want for testing purpose, I choose 1. If you want more than one worker node, you can change the node count to 3 or whatever you want. Okay, so here it display only one node. The next one have to create a storage account and blob container. Storage account created. Now have to create the blob. We can verify in the UA. It takes few minutes. So meanwhile we install Velero client. So the next one, how to install Velero server in the AKS cluster. So this is the command to install Velero, and you have to mention the provider and plugin as well as bucket. The secret file, we have to pass few environment variables like Azure subscription ID, Azure tenant ID, client secret. So these are the variables we have to set, and all the variables put in one file and pass that file in a runtime. If you are in AWS, like we have a AWS access key and secret key, right? So we have to pass access key and secret key whenever you want to do any activity in AWS through command line. That is the same in Azure side. In Azure, we have to pass these variable. Okay. Storage account is created now, and under the storage account, we created one blob. Yeah, that's one also created. Now it's empty. So whenever you do a backup using Velero, files will upload here. I will show you. So you no need to modify anything. It's a generic one, so you can execute directly in your machine. Then we have to pass all these variables in a single file so that we can use that file in the runtime during Velero installation. I'm going to cross check whether all the variables placed correctly or not. Yeah, all things are happening. The next one, I'm going to install Velero server in AKS cluster. So what will happen? It create a new namespace in Kubernetes cluster and few custom resources created under that namespace. Using this command, it will display all the resources under this namespace. So before going to check, we have to verify the logs. So logs are expected. So -n short form of ns namespace. Here namespace. So whenever namespace is created and one pod deployment, so all things are created. So now we're going to deploy Nginx so that we can verify whether the backup is happened properly or not. So you can test from your side without persistent volume. So I'm going to test directly with persistent volume. Okay. Under app, we have file Nginx with pv. So I copied all the things. So here the first thing, I just create one new namespace for this testing and use a persistent volume claim. Like a persistent volume, okay, in Kubernetes side, so we have to specify first persistent volume, and then we have to call, we have to claim the volume. I will show you first the generic step for persistent volume and persistent volume claim in Kubernetes. Like first we have to set up the persistent volume, like we have to create persistent volume. Then like a persistent volume in the sense you have a large pool like 1 TB data, 1 TB storage. Okay, so then we have to claim only 1 GB or 2 GB specific for one part or other part. So you can mention, you can demand how many resources you want. So you can specify in the YAML file. That's the persistent volume claim. So once you mention the persistent volume claim, then in your pod file, you have to mention that persistent volume claim name. So three things we have to do. So one is create persistent volume and create persistent volume claim, and then call that persistent volume claim in pod definition file. But in AKS, so we have a like a default Azure disk. So you no need to create persistent volume here. You can directly create persistent volume claim. So whenever you create a persistent volume claim, so 1 GB or 2 GB, the disk will created under the Azure disk. So you no need to specify or you no need to configure persistent volume. Okay, so that I directly use persistent volume claim here. If you want to use a restic, you can use. So here use Azure disk. So instead of restic storage. So here I mentioned the Nginx PVC, the name for a persistent volume client. I just mentioned the Nginx PVC, map that name to pod here. And then we have to specify the mount, where you are going to mount in the container side, the pod side. So I just mentioned the directory here. Okay. So I'm going to apply. So it will create one new namespace and one pod, one persistent volume client, and it export is as a service so that we can browse the outside. So I use a load balancer type here. So I get so Velero Nginx test PV is a namespace. -n is a short form of NS, and PO is short form of pods, and PVC is short form of persistent volume client, and SVC short form of service. So display all the things. Right? So we are going to verify whether the persistent volume claim is created or not under the resource group. So here one disk is created. Size is 1 GB, okay, which we mentioned in the configuration file. Okay, now all the things are good. So when we hit the IP, external IP, by default showing 403 error. The reason, under the HTML folder, it doesn't exist any file. Like we created one new volume, right? So under that volume, no files are exist. We can verify after logging the pod. So here I mention the namespace, the pod reside, and then mention the pod name, and then mention the shell name. So here I mention bash shell. -IT is a non-interactive mode. So now I log in the pod. So files are empty. Okay. So that is the reason we are getting 403 error. So now we are going to create one index.html file locally, and then going to copy that file to this location. So I have a file. You can check the file, index.html file here. Sample file testing. Okay. So the next one, need to copy that index.html file to the pod. Syntax like a namespace, and then pod name, and then colon, then container mount path. Okay. Now we have to log in again and then verify whether files are copied or not. Problem is, I mentioned the command like app, but in my case, index.html located in the current directory. not in the app directory. So again, I'm going to cross check. Files are there. So now we are going to hit the IP again. This time it will display the things which we mentioned in text.html file. Okay, so now everything is good. So now the step is we are going to take a Valero backup and then restore. Okay, you no need to specify anything here like the snapshot backup and all, so it will create by default. So if I do this command like Valero backup and then create and then backup name, so what will happen, it will take a backup of entire cluster. In case if you want to take a particular namespace, then you have to use the flag like include namespaces and then put the namespace name. In case if it is more than one, you can choose the format like here. This is the format, test1, test2, test3. So what will happen, it will take a backup of these three namespaces, test, test1 and test3. Okay, so in our case we are going to take a backup of Valero Nginx test pv. And then if I use wait, it will display. So if you are not use a hyphen if and wait, what will happen, so it's directly hit the come to the terminal and things are happening in the backend. But here I use a wait, so all the things are happening and display in the terminal. So it's completed. So we are going to verify now. So one snapshot, okay, snapshot also completed and the face completed and the namespace here we mention this namespace. If you want to take a backup of particular pod or few pods, set of pods, you can define whatever you want. You can take backup. Okay, so now we have a backup file. So as I mentioned already, like one new folder is created now. So under that folder, we have a file name. So now we have a file, backup file. So I'm going to delete the namespace now. So it will delete all the resources under this namespace. So pods and then service, persistent volume claim, all the things are we're going to delete. So next we have a backup file, so we can restore using that backup file. So we'll see. We can list the backup files, how many backup files present, using the Valero get backup command. So no resources found because we have removed the namespace. Okay, so now I'm going to restore the backup file using Valero restore command. So some cases you take a backup of entire cluster, but if you want to restore some particular namespace, yeah, you can do using the same like hyphen include namespaces option. Okay, but here I just take a backup of only one namespace, so I no need to specify. Things are completed. I'm going to verify the logs. So first we are going to verify what are the resources backed up, I mean restored. Phase completed, namespace. Okay, so here we didn't mention any namespace, so that in default it mentioned all namespace. Okay, so now I'm going to check first namespace. So whatever nginx test div is created now. Okay, so earlier we got a error due to the namespace unavailability, but now yeah, we got a persistent volume. Okay, yeah, I got to verify the same in UA. So we have one Kubernetes disk here. So the name like restore. Okay. So you can find the snapshots under AKS test. Okay, now I'm going to get the service and then hit the IP. So earlier IP was different. So now we got a IP like a 22.62 something. So earlier IP was a 52 something. Right? So all the Kubernetes resources restored now. So you're able to get the web page. So I will put a separate video for AWS, EKS, and Google Cloud Platform. So non-prone to. So if you want more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this video.